Hi, this is Kimberly. Please enjoy our podcast, but remember our doctors are only here to educate, not diagnose. If you have any questions or need any further information, please email me. My email address is kim@mfwellness.org.
Okay, we're back with another fantastic podcast, and I for one I'm just so glad because in the room with us again is the return of Dr. Brad Mawer.
Oh my gosh.
Right.
He's back. How long has it been?
Been over 6 weeks.
Wow.
I know that for sure.
You guys may not have noticed, but I've been kind of trying to carry the podcast all my own.
Oh
and I've
my
been
gosh. Was that different?
I've been extra talky than I normally am, and now that Dr. Mawer's back, I feel like we're going to be okay.
Is that true? Because I feel like I've had a lot more to say, and I've been given a little bit of room to talk more freely.
Yeah?
So I feel like you've really been controlling yourself these last couple podcasts.
Well, the last podcast, you're like, okay, now Kristen, look, he's going to cut you off. That's great. I like Jamie was my wife. She lets us know when we're doing something wrong. I'll just put it that way. If something wrong, she thought that was probably one of the funniest moments that she's heard. I was like, that's really great. Thank you for that. So, anyway, go ahead.
And really, you don't take it as an offense. Like, hey, you're not doing it on purpose. You really want to get say what you're saying.
I can't help
myself.
because
Excited.
Because if you don't say it right, then you have a tendency to
it's gone. It's gone.
You're already on to the next thing.
That's right, and it's so frustrating because what if that could have helped somebody?
Yeah,
It's
right.
like in my head I'm like, don't say it, just wait, just keep thinking of the thing, keep thinking of the thing.
And then it gets blurted out.
Or if somebody says something a little more on point to the topic, then my mouth just starts moving. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But if then another topic comes up, I'm like, oh God, I got to say something about that too. Now I have two things I'm trying to hold. It's like trying to hold your bladder.
It's like a dam.
But for information.
Is that just so you could say a cuss word?
Yeah. Kim.
Okay.
Okay, so we have one piece of follow-up from last time. We had a couple of people follow up with us about allergies from our podcast 2 times ago. And something that I had forgot to answer, but I'm going to answer now. We talked about the different types of medical testing, and 3 patients wanted to know if we do that kind of testing here. And we can absolutely do it. We can order the tests for you, and it's really no problem. But any doctor could do it. But there are allergists that specialize in this, and I'm sure they could get a comparable rate on their test, or maybe get it less expensively than we could because they do them in bulk. But there are really great allergists, and if you need one, just contact us and we'll find one for you because we know a lot of really good ones in the area. So
yeah, they have protocols in place and they do everything really specifically.
Right.
We can do it, but it'd be better
Absolutely.
for you
Probably
to
the
get it done,
turnaround time. For that
Oh
might
my
be
gosh,
quicker
yeah.
for them, too.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So that's cool. So the reason why it comes up is because this is a very, very bad allergy year here in St. Charles, Missouri. Our patients are getting absolutely.
I feel like the last 2
Our
weeks.
staff too. Yeah, everyone. We probably had 6 or 7 total staff lost days to just sinus infections secondary to massive
Fix my face.
massive
Fix my face.
amounts of mucus being produced secondary to near anaphylaxis grade allergy responses. So our poor staff, everybody's just getting crushed. And I'm 100% sure it's because I planted what we call
Maximum.
red bud oppression. And now I think we've oppressed too many people because the red
Truly.
buds. And it's only going to get worse as those trees get bigger.
Or better.
Okay. Anyway, so that's it. I just want to clear that piece of housekeeping. Now, let's get back to Dr. Mawer. So Dr. Mawer, why don't you, as much as you feel comfortable, and you can leave out whatever details you want, tell the people what happened.
Okay.
If you want to.
Yeah.
If you don't, we can just make something up. Because that's what I've been doing.
Especially-
We can blame somebody.
Especially when I
Yeah.
initially tell them what I was doing.
Oh my gosh,
And
yeah.
they have this look on their face like, how did you possibly do that?
Yeah.
Doing
Which
that-
is a very
doing that
Mawer
activity.
thing. It's a very Brad Mawer thing.
I don't hold back,
I love it. I love it.
I can't wait to hear it.
He plays to win, Kim. You probably
I
don't
love
even
this
know what
story.
happened.
Maybe not.
So, kind of like I tell people initially, I was playing disc golf. So right now you're thinking, well, once again, just like everybody else, how did I possibly do this playing disc golf?
That's right.
So as a little bit of history, about 20 years ago, in between undergrad and chiropractic school, I was playing disc golf about every single day.
20 years ago, would you go to school when you were 8?
I'm 44, so.
Are you really?
So it was probably like 21 years ago.
There's nothing that makes Dr. Brad more angry when
No, I don't
Dr.
care.
Josh doesn't. Dr. Josh doesn't realize.
I always think he's like 30 something years old.
No, I'm at a point now where I'm like, hey, yeah.
It's right. I
I am 35.
Dr. Brad's the youngest doctor here.
Is he? No. Okay.
What?
Kim, I got a lot of information to store.
I'm older than the guy who just said that.
Yeah.
You're not older than me. Oh man! Oh right. Okay, right. Oh, but honestly though, I have to thank Marissa, our front desk enforcer, Marissa. She reminded me that I was 46. I thought I was 47
For how many days?
all year.
No. I believe you have a birthday.
I got a birthday coming up. Yeah, I'll be
Then-
47. Then I will be
then
47, turning 47. I thought I was turning
That's
48.
2 days, right? 3 days.
It's whatever Mother's Day is. It's the day before Mother's Day. That way, it always ruins my birthday.
Yeah.
I spend
Yeah.
my. I spend my.
Edit that
I think
out.
your mom planned
I
that.
probably should edit that out for all the mothers listening.
No, the mothers know. I complain about it every year. I spend my birthday prepping for Mother's Day every year.
So you're saying
It's
that
pre-Mother's Day. People say, "Hey, happy birthday." I go,
you just
"Thanks for the
said
pre-Mother's Day wishes."
Mother's Day ruins your birthday. That's
It
what you
does.
said.
It's a super.
You wanna- Okay.
It's a super great how
Listen, your
look.
funeral. Perfect.
The mothers know. They know that I work for them. There's no question. This practice is run by, is staffed by, and is populated with women and moms in particular. So they know how we feel about them. But all I'm saying is that maybe they shouldn't come trump my birthday every year, but they do. The best of the years when it's on my birthday, and then no one even knows my name.
All right. So I got through the first sentence of my story.
I am so
Let's
sorry.
pick it back up.
I am so sorry.
Let's pick it back up.
All right.
All right. So I used to play a lot. Recently, though,
I'm so sorry.
I have not played disc golf.
Right.
And but someone asked me, and I was like, hey, that's probably the big reason. Is that, first of all, time, and
Right.
then just not really have anybody I know who plays. So I was all for it. So we get out there. Now, just as another piece of background, for a long time I've had issues with my left foot,
Left foot, okay.
left leg. So I'm getting out there and I'm taking it easy because I know it's a problem.
She's going to get sore.
Yeah, it's going to be a problem. So we start on hole 10 because it's a little busy.
So just like regular golf, you start on the back. There's 18
I start on the
holes.
back 9, yeah, 18.
Huh,
So
okay,
I'm getting
cool.
warmed up though. It's a little rough in the beginning, but I'm starting to feel better. I'm starting to get the frisbee out there.
What do you... Let's talk about that for a second. How many... Is it like golf? Is it 4? Is there a par?
This par, yeah, this
What's
was a
the
long
average par?
course. It was 4, and I think there were some 5s. But this was a
Wow.
longer course. Like a long hole in disc golf is like 500 feet, 600 feet.
Good night, bro.
So we're getting through. We get done with 9 holes, and he's like, "Hey, do you know how you feel?" He knows because I'm limping a little more, and I'm like, I'm good. Let's keep going."
So he tried to get out of there.
He just like gave me the option, like, "Hey, he knows I'm feeling a little bit rough." But
Now,
I'm
when
like,
you say getting the frisbee out there, how far are you throwing that thing?
right now, I don't.
Like from here to Quick Trip?
No.
The fact that you're
No.
even looking makes me
No,
like
like-
pumped up for throwing a frisbee.
Well, probably like the way I was throwing that, maybe like 200 feet, and that might even been exaggerating when I was starting because I just wasn't getting it out there.
So when you're warmed up and you're playing, let's say you have a 400-foot hole, you're going 3/4 of the distance on your drive.
Maybe and I don't think I was that day.
Right,
but
but
some people can. Yeah, they'll get it out there.
Good night.
And so
What?
we get.
Are you mad at me?
I'm listening.
Oh, God, you're looking right
And
at me.
so,
I looked up and Kim's like, stop talking.
We get to
I
hole
got
4, and this is where it all goes down.
4.
So the 13th hole I've played, and I'm feeling good. So, and if you haven't played disc golf,
He actually means he's feeling good, he's loosened
Yeah,
up,
I'm
not
ready to-
he's been drinking. In
No.
some circles, feeling good means you've had way
Yeah.
too much to drink.
yeah,
Just
and that's
so
been a question. Unfortunately, nothing was consumed.
Oh my
for this
gosh.
to happen.
Okay.
So for those of you who haven't played, when you tee off, we call it, just like golf,
Mm-hmm.
there's a concrete pad you throw off of, and it's about 10 feet to 12 feet long and 4 feet wide, probably.
Huh.
So on this particular hole, I'm like, okay, I'm starting to feel good. I'm feeling like I'm throwing better. So I start way at the back. And what you do is you get some momentum. You're not necessarily running towards the front, but you're getting some momentum.
Like a shot put.
And then as you get towards the front, you're twisting your body, not only your upper body, but your feet to be perpendicular.
Who knew?
Yeah, so you're turning your whole body so you can release it. You can look it up on YouTube. Maybe.
Dude, that's awesome. I had no idea.
And so as I'm getting towards the front, during that process, I believe my left leg, who's always been jealous of my right leg,
Made his move.
sabotage
Made his move.
and tripped me up And I just went straight, because I was in that rotation period, I went straight onto my right side.
Oh, flip and flap.
And that hole, a lot of the other holes, the concrete's flush with the ground. So it would have been great.
No problem.
I hit my shoulder, it would embarrassing, but I'd probably kept playing.
Yeah.
This particular hole had a drop off from the concrete ledge.
So you were on like a top of a hill.
Yeah.
A tiny hill.
So I hit perfectly at the very top of my femur, at the edge of the concrete. And because the rest of my body didn't hit the ground until later.
So your femur became the fulcrum.
Yeah. So
for a really lame lever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the one that couldn't handle.
Your lever.
And a lot of people have asked, they're like worried about me. It's like, is your bone health okay?
Yeah.
And the doctor said it looked great. They said, just like I thought,
the way you landed.
It was the perfect.
Yeah.
Like for me to trip up when I did, and for me to land exactly there.
Right there.
It's almost like it was meant to happen. So.
Yeah, you sent me that picture. I'm driving. I pick up the boys from school. I'm driving home, and I get this picture.
Oh, I got to explain that too.
Yeah.
I got to explain why I have a picture that I sent to you.
Go ahead.
So, well, first of all, I laid there on the ground. I'm like, okay, I'm embarrassed.
I'm embarrassed.
But then,
good night.
But then I'm like, after maybe even 30 seconds, I'm like, okay, I'm going to try to stand up.
Right.
Nope.
No.
Not going to happen.
Wasn't even going to happen. Wow.
And that's when I was starting to, like, cross my mind. I think I was getting a little flushed, too, because I'm like, I'm pretty sure I fractured this.
That's broken. Wow.
So,
wow.
Talked to the guy.
Oh.
He went and got his car, because luckily we were right near a street, and I start scooting on my butt.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Did he drive his car? Now the guy, he's just been a patient. We love him.
Yeah.
He's been a patient of ours for 18 years. He's a wonderful human being, and he's really mellow. You know, he's just super. He's just. Wonderful.
It was great. It was a great day. I mean, we were having great. It had rained a lot the day before, but it was sunny and it was just perfect day for playing.
Right.
And so he got his car. I had scooted in the meantime.
Did he drive it up onto the grass to get you?
No,
because that seems like something he would do.
Luckily, the street was right there. So we got there. I backed up to the passenger side, hoisted myself up into his car.
God, did he buddy carry you?
No. Luckily, he didn't have to.
Oh my gosh.
And so we're talking about like what we're going to do. I'm like, well, and we're discussing it. No way I can drive.
Right.
First of all, and then so we just head off. Decide whether I'm going to go home. Or
because that's something your wife wants to come home to.
Yeah. But what it came down to, I contacted you.
Let's make this an issue for my wife.
Because I know some Fridays you're here, you're working on it.
Oh, yeah.
But you had gone to pick up your kids.
That's right.
But after I talked to you, I'm like, okay, well, let's still go there. Called my wife. We have crutches at the house just in case, I fracture my hip.
Oh, my God. It's perfect.
So we drive
nice
here.
crutches, too.
She meets me here, and I'm like, okay. I'm going to teach these two how to take x-rays.
Absolutely perfect.
So I show him
the consummate educator.
How to use our...
That's why he's a professor.
Yeah. How to use our relatively new digital x-ray machine.
Oh my gosh, Kim.
I don't even know how to use that.
See?
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Oh, it's super fun.
Yeah. So we just set it up. I get the picture. Nice, pops up right on the screen. I look at it. And first of all, it's supposed to be facing straight ahead, but it looks like it's rotated, even though I'm not trying to.
Even though you're not. That's right.
Look at the neck of the femur, and there's a crack going all the way through.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, well, we're going to go to the ER.
Yeah.
I could have done it in the first place, but...
He sends it to pick. So I pick up the boys. I'm driving home, and it rings, and it was from Brad, so I always pull over, and I get the picture, and I'm just throwing up in my mouth. He's like, what? How does this look? I'm like... The trochanter's gone, and there's some landmarks when we look at x-rays of femurs. And the one that was rotated so far, you couldn't even see it. It was behind other pieces
of bones. So it looked like the neck of the femur was just compacted on.
Bloop. And it was like, oh my goodness gracious. I'm like, whoever that is screwed. And he's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. So I saved it on the phone from here, and I took it to the ER. And at that point, I think adrenaline's still kicking in because I'm not showing really much pain. I come in there, and they're like, oh, what's going on? And I was like, I think I fractured my hip. And they're like, okay. And I can tell that they're like, yeah, you don't look like you.
Sure, bro. Yeah.
And then so I pulled up on the phone, which was nice and handy. And
that is really great.
And then their eyes got big and like, oh, okay, we'll get you a wheelchair and we're going to take you back.
Yeah.
And give you.
That's really great. You had it on your phone.
Yeah. I found I had to download a DICOM viewer.
You did?
It's in the DICOM.
Yeah, it's got the DICOM.
JPEGs and all that.
But it's all kinds of formats.
DICOM.
DICOM's legit.
Yeah, there's apps out there.
So you pulled an app while you're sitting in here with a fractured leg.
Yeah.
You're such a stud. What a tough guy. I'd have been crying. Kim, I'd have rolled myself in the ground and just sunk into the earth and just lived there forever.
Just take me.
Just take me. That's it. That's it.
So then what happened is I eventually, they called it a pinning. Mm-hmm. And so on x-ray it looks like 3 deck screws. But they put those pins or those screws through the bone into the neck.
Deck screws are screws with extra coarse threads for holding into wood. Kim?
Yeah. Thank you.
Yep.
So that's what it looks like. And then stayed there a couple days in the hospital. And now we're 6 weeks out.
6 weeks. So how long does it usually take to get back to weight bearing from that?
So, and it is different from a hip replacement. So a hip replacement, typically they want people up on their feet really, really soon.
That's wild, man.
Back in the day, didn't they like make people lay in bed for months after
for a lot of different things.
We could do a whole podcast on the malpractice that occurred from bed rest, and it's absolutely the generation ahead of ours. They just got obliterated. This bed rest was never. It's a joke.
So the difference between the pinning, they don't want me to screw up those screws.
Right.
So for me, I was toe touch for 10 days. So no pressure on it, using a walker for 10 days. And then I went back and saw the orthopedist, and he said I could slowly increase up to about 50% as I felt like I could handle. So, and I'm trying to think when I switched to crutches, it was probably week 3, I believe. And going to physical therapy starting in week 3. And I think they're the kind of the ones who kind of
guide that,
push me toward going from the walker to the crutches. And
that's what's awesome about physical therapists, man.
They push.
Man, they do. They're just awesome.
So a lot of strengthening, a lot of stretching, and that's kind of what holds me back. It's kind of like 2 steps forward, 1 step back. And the steps back are usually my muscles are
gotta be the pain. Because it's your groin musculature.
They tighten up so much.
Can you imagine having a groin injury all the time, Kim?
Yeah.
You've never had a groin injury, have you?
I don't think so.
Oh my God, Kim, you're not even alive.
See, I feel groin, I feel hip flexors, I feel hamstrings.
You got to.
Glute. They all are like, when I work them even a little extra, it's not just a tightness, it's like a painful like contraction.
Oh yeah.
Tight. So
But
at this point when I'm feeling good, I'm to 1 crutch.
1 crutch it.
Around 1 crutch.
Nice, bro.
And then we'll steadily work.
You're pretty quick too.
You're fast.
Yeah.
Even last week versus this week, he's so much faster.
Yeah.
And then he's doing his physical therapy here. So if you want to look at Dr. Mawer and poke him, he's here in the afternoons, and he's doing all his PT here, his PT assignments here.
Yeah.
And then which is wonderful.
Twice a day. Twice a day I do the exercises that they gave me for home, and twice a week I go to PT.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, I saw you sliding that napkin on the with your foot, and I was just crying on the inside. That's got to hurt so bad.
I lay on my back, and then leg straight. I put a towel here under my foot, and I slide all the way up until my knees bent as far as it'll go, and then I slide it back. That's one of the many.
Wow.
That and the clam, those were kind of the toughest in the beginning, I would say.
Yeah, I'm just glad to see you again. This the manual therapies, chiropractic, physical therapy, occupational therapy, massage. It's just so physically demanding of your body. You can't do it halfway. It'll destroy you. So that's why it's good to see you moving around again. So, Dr. Matt and I are patiently awaiting your return and just getting our faces kicked in with slides. We were like, "Where's Dr. Mawer?" I'm like, I don't know. Hopefully,
I come in and watch you guys.
Yeah. I like it. I feel like you're there for the moral support. Yeah. Oh yeah. So I'm excited to have you back. Okay. So that's my question, Dr. Matt. You had a couple questions for him.
Yeah. So regarding your limitations are there limitations following a surgery getting adjusted? Like, when should you get adjusted after a surgery?
So,
just because it depends on the surgery, right?
Yeah, I feel like.
Do you have a specific surgery in mind, or?
Yeah, I mean, just in general.
For mine, well, I would say for mine, I really.
Have you been adjusted yet?
Cervical and thoracic.
Oh yeah.
And then I could get. The only problem with lumbar and like sacral region is that initially I wasn't laying on my stomach and really just laying on one side and just with a pillow. So far it's mainly been cervical and thoracic adjustments.
Wow.
But I'm getting to now where one thing I do is I lay on my stomach and one way I try to stretch this hip flexor.
Yep.
And so I think I'm really close to, we have other ways, we have drop table, which I'm probably not ready for that either, but there's a basic technique.
Yeah, there's a lot of techniques.
But in general, yeah, I think it definitely depends on the type of surgery you had. One, and Dr. Matt, you could probably speak to the fact that you've had the heart surgery and how long. I don't remember at this point. I remember I adjusted you. I believe I was the first one to adjust you.
Yeah,
I don't remember the timing though.
Yeah,
2 days, something. As
Yeah,
soon as he got out.
It wasn't very long after the surgery, right?
my mom drove me in, right?
Yeah, and I think it was just neck.
Yeah, it was just I had cervical.
Yeah.
So a seated cervical on that Friday because I came home on a Monday, and they told me I had the same amount of stuff to do, walk around and stay alive for X amount of time.
Yeah.
And then I got adjusted, I think, on that Friday.
Yeah.
So yeah, mine was just a couple days.
And then it was weeks.
So you came in, yeah.
It was weeks before we did thoracic, but I know.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
we had to wait for the whole sternum to heal.
I had you hold that your pillow in between, and we did the like really light. Yeah, we did really light. So
stupid heart pillow.
Hey,
Yeah, you're still mad about it.
you. You said
You did, yeah.
And then I turned to my poop pillow.
Thank God.
Yeah.
You had to give it back.
No,
I was going to say
I took it everywhere with me.
You have to.
Everywhere.
Yeah, if you ever want to hear some off-color tales about heart surgery and its rehabilitation thereof, you can ask Dr. Matt. We're not going to talk about it now because, like, what if there's little kids listening? You know what I mean, Kim? Mm-hmm. One good thing, though, about Dr. Mawer's surgery is he pees standing up. That's got to have saved you.
Yeah.
I mean, holy cow. Yeah. You know what I mean? Dr. Matt's shaking his head. So we'll ask Dr. Matt about that some other time.
Okay.
I don't want him to start crying. What can you do and what can't you do? Is there anything? Like long term, what's your prognosis?
Yeah, and I would say, obviously this has been a physical struggle, but
Man,
I admit sometimes it's been a little bit mental because in my head I've been thinking about how is this gonna, like I know I'll be back here and I'll be able to adjust and I'll be able to do many things, but what am I not going to be able to do?
Right.
And
free golf?
Well, I think I'll be able to do that.
He's going to do that.
I'm going to take it.
He almost has to.
I'll either not throw from the concrete, or I'm going to pick a lot shorter course and to where I could just like flick my wrist and get the disc there.
Yeah.
But the physical therapists haven't told me at this point like, oh, you're never going to be able to do this. And they even said, hey, if you want to golf again, that's something we can work on. Yeah. I think in the long run, me strengthening my left leg, which has been holding me back in other ways, I think that's going to be beneficial.
Oh, heck yeah.
For other things. But I've done some of my own reading, and it says, hey, I think it's up to me, but like horseback riding, let's say, that might be a little higher risk of maybe falling off or something.
That's a long way to fall.
It brought up tennis, I think because of all the stops, all the quick stops and starts. I'm trying to remember what else. Skiing, and once again, that's I would just be taking a higher risk of falling. And
we got that. We have a patient who's had double knee replacements, and he plays. He's ranked senior tennis player. He's ranked.
So I think it's really
old crazy legs. He's awesome.
And it even mentions running. I guess because that pounding,
just pounding her.
That pounding going straight up into my hip. So I don't know, but otherwise, I think I'll get to a point where everyday activities. I don't think I'll have any limits.
Yeah. The thing about it is, it's just like with the rehabilitation of spinal ligaments. Like the ligament and the muscle, the ligament that holds the whole hip together, where the femur head hits the obturator, and that it's ligaments all over the body that guide the range of motion. Like muscle will pull you, but ligament will stop you. And getting that rehabilitated. It's why, like with the spine too, when you're seeing physical therapists or you're here twice a week, you're working on muscle. Because that's how fast muscle heals, and you can provoke it again. You can ask it to stretch, you can retrain it. But when you're working on, when you're working on ligament, you have to have a much longer time to allow it to recover. Which is the other thing that really blows about getting pinned, is that we have a class 4 therapy laser here. And the first thought in my head was, I'm going to shove that thing right into his crotch and turn it on. You know what I mean? But I can't.
But that'll be like a rotisserie chicken.
That's right. But now I can't because he's got screws in there, which is, there's not a lot of contraindications to laser, but you have 3 of them lodged inside there. So if I could mark it off with a pen, I could see, where that is, and I could aim the laser across. But then we're talking about pretty intense situations.
Right. Yeah, so close encounters.
The third kind,
But speaking about the healing time, I did my recent blog. I did spend time going over the healing time of different tissues and the different phases of recovery. So on our websites, the blog.
Please go to Brad's blog. We rotate the blog. It's whoever gets out of the way at the last second. We play not it to see who's doing the blog. And so Dr. Mawer did.
We get a lot of questions just from what we recommend.
Absolutely.
Like, well, why does it have to take that long?
Why does this take 3 times
Everything
a week?
is based on those healing times.
And that's really it, right? Like if we're seeing you, every day, we're seeing you 3 times, we're turning off pain. We're turning off mechanoreceptors. We're turning off nociception. We're trying to stimulate healing. We're shutting down the inflammatory response. We're seeing you twice a week. We're asking your muscles to do something. If we're seeing you once a week, we're remodeling your body. Now, to me, remodeling humans, it's the coolest thing we'll ever do. It's the coolest thing. But it's fun when people aren't in crippling pain, too.
Sure. I mean, yeah, it's got to be good.
Okay, cool. All right, Dr. Mawer, thank you. I appreciate the work that you went to in order to make a really great podcast topic for the people. Oh, okay. Kim, for those of you who can't see, Kimberly's indicating on my notes where something that I already talked about, but she didn't care then. But now she's like, we didn't talk about this. So
the question that we answered, and really what Kim is motioning
Dr. Matt's going to save you,
is that if you've been in this practice and you've seen the work that we're doing, especially Dr. Danielle, we are doing much more rehab. Now, the reason why that's happening is because the amount of space that we have to do that is expanding.
Oh, yeah. It was our stated objective. Make more room for the cool stuff that we do. And we've done it.
Yeah. So that's what's going on. Thank you, Kim.
Right.
You're welcome. Thank you, Dr. Matt.
All right. Thanks, Dr. Matt, for saving the day. Okay, Kimberly, do you have anything else other than chastising me for the people?
Nope. That's it.
All right. Dr. Fink?
Nothing other than the more rehab that we do, we'll be moving a lot more of the rehab activities to the wellness room.
Yeah. Multi-purpose room is done. It's called the wellness room, but it's completed. They'll have their first class Friday, and then we have a lot of other classes. So if you are interested in renting out that room for your health topics, or maybe we have a lot of patients like, hey, I want to teach my friends yoga, or I want to do this and that. That room is available for rent, for private functions, and I think it's like the only room in St. Charles where you can just get a room that's designed for exercise. Get your friends together and do something fun, or you can play Dungeons and Dragons there. I don't know. No, you can't play Dungeons and Dragons?
It has to be health related.
Oh my gosh! Never mind.
Oh, so you're saying
we need a list.
So we're not going to show
up in there?
We're not going to show up to work one day and see a bunch of cosplayers.
The LARPing is allowed.
LARPing is allowed.
That's to be active.
That's only because Kim doesn't know what LARPing is.
Yes, I do.
Oh. Okay, Kim, well, I apologize.
Because of role models, probably.
Yeah, probably.
Right?
Anyway, so there's a lot of really exciting stuff going on at the office. It's going incredible here, and we're just so grateful to our patients, our staff, and everybody for helping us make this possible. Dr. Mawer, anything for the people?
No, it's good to be back. And
man, it is so good to see you.
And for those of you in the practice, you'll be seeing me more and more.
Yeah, a lot of your patients were like, what'd you do to Dr. Mawer? They were legit worried. They're like, what's going on? It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, because we're here in the new place like a month, and then I disappeared. I think some thought I was on vacation.
Yeah, they were like, we knew it. We knew you were going to get rid of him. You couldn't handle sharing the spotlight, and they were right.
It was all sabotage.
It was a sabo. All right, very cool. All right, so for Dr. Mawer, for Dr. Matt Fink, and for Kimberly, I am Dr. Josh Fink, and we will talk to you in 2 weeks. Bye.
And a big thank you goes out to Hug Monster Sound for somehow allowing the doctors' voices to sound even better than they already do.